Hey everybody, it's Ro back with another conversation with Root, okay? And we've been talking to Root, my girl Jessica. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank
That is
you.
restoring our own through transformation. And when you and I talked last time, you gave so much information as to what you guys do for our community, for women, for birthing moms, and all that good stuff. And today we have a special guest who is going to share a little bit of her testimony and how you guys were an advocate for her in her birthing journey. So we're going to bring on our girl, Rhiannon.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, Chris.
Okay, so before we get started, if somebody is new watching right now, Jessica, can you just talk a little bit about Root? Give like a quick little, intro to who you are and what you guys do.
Sure. So ROOT stands for Restoring Our Own Through Transformation. And we are a reproductive and birth justice organization located in Columbus, Ohio. We do work surrounding perinatal support, but we do that in a full spectrum perspective. So we also support women and families across their journey, whether it be in the planning stages, whether it be through pregnancy loss, or whether it be through the birthing experience and full on to postpartum. We're very much steeped in the Black family and
Mhm.
creating levels of stabilization. And so we really do believe in like the promise of Black joy and that we can have the birthing experiences and the families that we want to see. That also involves full circle and working in policy and advocacy spaces, as well as health education, technical assistance to other community-based organizations, and that type of thing.
I love it. I love it. Now, Rhiannon, you oversee an organization yourself. Would you like to talk about Ohio Women's Alliance?
Yes, I'm the founder and executive director of Ohio Women's Alliance, and we're a statewide reproductive justice organization that does real year-round campaigns around reproductive rights and health.
I love it. Okay, so let's talk about how the two of you guys paired together for your birthing journey.
Well, we've known each other for forever, so I'm going to let.
Yeah, Jessica and I have known each other just being in the reproductive rights, health, and justice work. And it's interesting because when I gave birth 2 years ago, it was my first time ever having a doula. It was my third time giving birth, and I was 44. So when you're older, you've been through this before, you think you know everything, but Jessica was like, girlfriend, now.
I was waiting for.
She was waiting for me. And I was just kind of like, I got this. But there was a lot of things that came up in my birthing journey that I'm so glad that I had Jessica for, and Root allowed me to just utilize my voice. It empowered me to be confident this time around. I think, when you're older,
Mhm.
yes, you've been through this before, but there's other complications that come with, being a older birthing person.
Yeah. Now, without giving too much information, because as soon as you said your age, I mean that's a conversation piece though for older women who still aspire to have children. Now, you said that this is your third birth, but there's a woman probably in the same age bracket who is trying to still have their first. And for some, there's some misconceptions, there's some fears there's a lot of questions because we're told when we're older, it's like, oh, whoa, wait a second, but how, without giving too much or whatever you want to give, how did you consider Rue? Like what did you know that they, how did you allow them to advocate for you for this journey, because it was a very special one?
Yeah, I think for me, as you're older, you do know your body more, and you know what works for you and what doesn't. But I think when you're older, you still put on too much on yourself
Mhm.
because, especially us as Black women, we absorb so much. We're caring for so many people. It's hard to let people in to care for you. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things that Jessica was a real big advocate for me, and just saying, like, you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to do this by yourself, and we are here for you. And just hearing that allowed me to open up and invite Root in. And it was an amazing experience and journey with them because there's still things I just didn't know. One thing I will share is just having my doula. I had a C-section. So just
Okay.
having my doula in the room with me and my husband, just for that added on support. Lots
Yeah.
of times they'll tell you you're only limited to so many people in there, but they were a big advocate and right by my side throughout the whole process.
I love it because I mean it's already like crazy when you're trying to have a baby, right? And then it's like, wait a second, you have all these things going through your mind. I have one child, so I have the experience of that. But it's like there's so many things that you're thinking about, you're worried about. So yeah, whether you have your spouse with you, a parent with you, whoever's in there with you, it has to feel amazing to know that you have a support system like Root, your doula, and stuff like that to ensure that your birthing journey is as smooth as possible, right? So I love that. Jessica, do you want to add anything to how you guys actually, I mean, more
I
to
do. Oh, I
you
do.
do?
Oh, I do.
Okay,
We're gonna bring it out today.
let's bring it out.
It's like I said. I mean, we've known each other for forever. Even in the reproductive health space, we knew each other. Prior to that, when we met was before both of us were in the positions that we're in. You were just starting Ohio Women's Alliance, and I was just starting Rooter. Had Root like maybe for a year at the most, right? I mean, we were both like kind of in sync, and we hadn't been talking to each other during that period, and then we both kind of like came back up, and we're both creating these major organizations that are along the same lines and work, right? And so when she got pregnant, and she was actually with one of our doulas, Destiny, who was like absolutely amazing, right? And the reason that she was with Destiny specifically was because I was like, that's my girl, home girl. So, and she don't want me in her business. I'm gonna be your friend, and you can be her doula. And that didn't work because I was like, I'm controlling. So I mean, there were times where I saw her out, and Destiny came to me and was talking to me about some concerns that she had. And I was like, just let me do a call with her, right? And that was that call. I was like, sis, look, we don't wear a cape. We don't wear capes. And a lot of times, us as Black professional women, we get in this mode where we feel like we have to show and prove and show up and show out and make sure that we're, providing an example. I said, but I'm here to tell you, none of that's going to work if you're not here.
Mhm.
So I need you to get on top of what it is that you need to take care of for yourself. You get to skip meetings. You get to send somebody else for yourself. You get to make sure that you're packing your food. You get to make sure that you're drinking enough water. You get to be in the middle of a meeting and say, I'm tired, I need to get my feet up, or have somebody bring you in a chair and kick back while you're having a meeting, because nothing's going to change that's coming out of your mouth or the intention just because you have to relax. I need
Mhm.
you to take care of yourself. You cannot take care of everybody else. It all starts with you. It was, and to just share it in that way, it was a real, it was kind of an emotional
Mhm.
breakthrough type of a conversation, because it's,
Yeah.
at that point, it's like both of us looking in a mirror at one another, right?
Mhm.
Like, I feel you and I know exactly what's happening. And I've had this experience, and I'm asking you to not make the same mistakes that I did. And that was like sister to sister, not, CEO and executive director.
Yeah.
And it was
That's
beautiful.
cool though, because I mean, the good thing is you guys kind of already had a relationship. But I feel like just from talking to you, Jessica, that you guys build that bond with all of your people. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys become a village, you become a family. So that's really, really special. Now, Rhiannon and both Jessica, you two, you can kind of both equally answer the question, but again, you made a great point, Jessica, about like we as Black women, we as women, period, we feel like, okay, we got this, especially as a mom. And if you've had one birth and you're on to your next one, you're like, okay, I could do this. I don't need no help. Nobody's going to tell me anything. Like, husband, be quieter. Grandma, like we got this. But like you said, there's a lot of times where we need the support and we don't even realize we need it. So why, Rhiannon, for yourself, was it so important to have a Jessica, a Destiny, a Root there to assist you with your birth story?
Yeah, it was important to me because one, I was high risk. Two, I just didn't have that benefit before in the past as a young parent before. So it just enriched my birthing experience. And then also, being in this work with Jessica, there was also peaks and perks because we would be in the same meetings with Congress people and everybody else. And she'd be like, hold on, wait a minute, let me make sure she has her water, make sure Rihanna's taking care.
I know that's right.
Just
so
the
literally,
choice lady.
so literally, she's serious. Like even though in the work, I do have to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, because I can't continue to be here for everybody else and not making sure that I'm being poured and invested in either. And that's one of the things that Root had did for me. And then also, to your point, it's like family. I mean, Destiny's in my my photos at my baby shower, you know, and yeah, and I truly love that, and I love that Jessica took a just a delicate approach, you know, and assigning a doula because we are friends too, and also just to protect her peace because I probably would have been messaging her every 2 seconds like, "Hey, what's this? What's that?"
You know her
You know,
friend,
so
right? She's like, no, let me keep up with her.
I know it's late. You might be out, but can you answer this question?
Yeah.
yeah, so it was just a wonderful experience, and I'm so thankful that Jessica made that call because, you know, Destiny was reaching out to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll get back with her. But when Jessica reaches out to me, I answer. So that is what really like nudged me to.
Okay.
And
Jessica, do you
and
have
I
that
think
relationship
too,
with everyone?
do I? Yes. It's actually
Okay.
kind of a personality trait. So to your point, like even if I've never met you before, if it's someone that I'm calling in, or if I'm doing like an additional clinical call or a support call for one of the doula's clients, I'm just kind of like, hey, what's up? Because of the fact that like this has been so firmly entrenched in my life. This is my life, right? This has been
Yeah.
25 years of my life. That it does start to feel like and become like, I know you and you know me, and you need somebody to talk to you that's going to be straight like that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to, I am definitely that person that's like super transparent. Like, it is what it is. We're either doing this thing and this is how we're going to get here, or we're not doing this thing. And then you're going to end up being one of the stats that everybody gets to talk about. Which one do you want to go with? Right? Because
Can we
it's not our reality. It's definitely not our truth. And I think that, you know, I actually just had a really extensive birth over the last, not like a day ago. I finally slept it off, but like for over the last 48 hours. And it was another one of those experiences where, you know, it gets to hold up the mirror
Mhm.
Mhm.
and it really makes you stop and think about like, this could become a disaster very quickly for
Mhm.
absolutely no reason other than people don't listen and they don't
Mhm.
take us seriously and they don't believe it. Like, I mean, we had an incident with Rihanna, and I don't want to tell everything about your own story, right? But you know, there was something that was very seriously going on with her after she had the baby, and her doctor was not being super receptive. I mean, and luckily, because we have the relationship
Mhm.
we do, she called me first. So, you know, but I was like, no, this isn't right. This is something you need to
Mhm.
have checked out. And we don't get to blow this off. And he's not going to blow it off. And if he blows it off, we're going to go to somebody else. This is what needs to happen, right? But that happens way too frequently for my comfort level, right? But that's how
Yeah.
but that's how we engage the way that we do with our clients. Because if we don't like get that relationship happening, there are things that we could potentially miss that they're also missing. We need to make sure that we're going to bring those pieces together.
Absolutely. Can we real quick just talk about maybe an example, and not necessarily yours, Rhiannon, but what is one of those moments where it's like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know I needed Root. I didn't know that I needed someone to speak up for me in this situation. Like, had I known this, I would have been reaching out to y'all in my first pregnancy. What's one of those kind of stories where you're like, see, this is exactly why we need someone to advocate for us?
I think one of an example is, you know, when Jessica talked about some of the complications that I had. Too often, you see all of these things in the news and the statistics, and you internalize it. And
Mm-hmm.
you internalize it as if there's something wrong with you, as if you did something wrong or you didn't follow the steps, when really there's nothing wrong with you. Someone just needs to care for you, and the doctors and the systems and the physicians and everyone else just need to do their job. And so Jessica was just like that sounding board for me to let me know like I did all the right things. Yes, I'm a Black woman. Yes, I'm a birthing person, and complications do happen and they arise, but I am not a statistic, and I can go back to my doctor and get the care that I deserve, and or as Jessica said, we can go somewhere else. And so
Mm-hmm.
for me, it gave me a moment to pause, to breathe, to feel safe and secure, and to just be able to again just use my voice and say what I needed when it came to my doctor.
Absolutely.
And I think that not enough of us know this. Like I try to tell everybody this, like, you know, you can fire your doctor, right? Like actually they get paid because of you. So then technically you can terminate them
Yes.
from the service.
Yeah.
Period. And a lot of people don't get that because of the fact that like of how the medical system is set up, right? There's this hierarchy that's like, oh, your doctor knows everything. You're supposed to do exactly what your doctor tells you and all of these things. And that's really not the reality. It isn't at all. Like ultimately, even if I'm not paying you out of pocket, you're getting paid by my insurance. You're getting
Mhm.
paid some
Right.
way, which means I'm employing you. And if
Mm-hmm.
people walk in to a situation like that with like, okay, well, you need to tell me a little bit more about you. If you have a physician or a care provider that's willing to do that, then you're probably in the right place. If you have
Yeah.
somebody that looks at you cross-eyed, it's like, yeah, no, thanks, I'm good, and go somewhere else. Absolutely. And always get your second and third opinion. Because if it doesn't feel right to you, I always try to make sure that folks understand that, like, if something doesn't feel right, you don't have to have the
Mhm.
words, you don't have to have the right terminology. You just know that it's not
You
right.
feel it. Yeah.
And you need to find what's right for you.
Yeah. I like that you said that though, because you're so right. Even on the most simplest level of like knowledge when it comes to like our doctors and medical and stuff like that, there's so many things we don't know. Like, who would have thought I could fire my doctor? You mean to tell me if I don't feel comfortable, if I don't feel safe, if I don't feel like I'm being respected and heard, I can be like, on to the next. A lot of women don't know that. And I feel like we already know the statistics that come with Black women, especially in birth. And maybe they don't know. Maybe we could share a couple before we end our conversation, because I think sometimes you kind of just have to tell the hard truth. Like, Black women and Black babies die at a higher rate in childbirth, And so it's like, I really appreciate this conversation, because I feel like this is exactly what ROOTT and Ohio Women's Alliance is all about, is giving out those resources, giving out that wisdom, so that even if it's not you physically or personally going through something, you can share it with your sister, your aunt, your cousin, your friend, your neighbor, because it's definitely information that is very necessary in our community.
And I think it's even more necessary. I'm not going to Rihanna could talk about her. Rihanna could talk about her organization more so. But I think it's really important too, as the two of our organizations start looking to the next year, and really talking about how we are going to continue to be doing this work, probably a little more vocally. Like, we're it's really about Black women, Black family, reproductive health, reproductive justice, full spectrum care across the board, whether it's that you're seeking abortion services, whether you're seeking fertility services, whether you're seeking, care in the perinatal mood disorder space. All of those things are a necessary part of our lives. And if we're
Mhm.
not having the conversation about the fullness of our capacity, then we're missing it, right? Because at the end of the day, I think one of the things that really weighed on me as a mom and being pregnant was always like, oh, let me make sure that like the baby's okay. And not ever really connecting the fact that the baby can't be okay unless I'm okay. And so that's
Right.
huge now for me. And that's a huge part of why I was, holding sis feet to the fire on multiple occasions, because I was like, nobody's okay without you. Like, you're the center. This
Yeah.
entire family, organization, all of the work that you do, all of the people that you impact, all of the people that you feel obligated to, that you have a responsibility to, what are we going to do if you're not here?
Right.
You've got to be here, and you've got to be fully present, and you've got to be able to be fully cared for in that.
I
And we
love
all
it.
deserve that. I think the more that we focus on that, the more we're going to have the type of statistics that ROOTT does, because numbers are great. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, we got to have a story that goes along with the fact that, you know, yes, we have better health outcomes and people are happy.
And we
Surprise.
had a story. Rhiannon, your story is obviously, from that. So I love ROOTT. I love what you guys do. Is there anything you guys want to add to our viewers just before we go and leave them with anything inspiring, or even just how they can contact both of the organizations?
That'd be great. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ohio Women's Alliance. We're on OhioWomen'sAlliance.org, and you can check us out also on all the social platforms. But just saying, I just want to say, just, prioritize yourself, your well being, and you have a circle and people around you who care for you as well. And you don't have to carry it all on your own.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And of course, we're ROOTT. We here, we stay in it. We're gonna be here. We're Columbus, Ohio. www.root with two T's rj.org. And you can of course see us on our social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook. And we are definitely going to be kicking off more in the new year, and really excited to be working even more closely with my sis here, and seeing what that's going to look like for us statewide, and being able to connect in with more organizations that are like ours and more like-minded folks, so we can really get this work done.
Yes, no longer are the days of, I don't know what to do, I don't have any help, there's no information. Yes, you do. Yes, there is. And we have it. And thank you both for providing your stories, obviously, your everything that you do in your organization. And I look forward to it as well. Shout out to you both.
Thank you.
I probably want to see y'all to the new year, right?
No, it'll be after the new year because I'm definitely as soon I had 3 births last week. So as soon as
Oh
I
yeah.
can shut it down, I'm gonna shut it down for a minute.
You need a break. All right. Well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
To
Shout out to
you.
the both of you, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you
Bye.
so
Thank
much. Bye.
you.